Hello all, here we are again for the learning. This is the video is going to be about part 2, tissue. Okay, the chapter is tissue and part 2 of this chapter will be animal tissue. So this is the video for animal tissue. We will be learning about animal tissue from NCERT textbook Standard 9 Science Biology by me, Rajneesh. Okay. So again, I will be insisting you to take your notebook, pen, pencil, something so that you can take some notes for you. Okay. Because simply watching video cannot help you. Okay. So this is the PowerPoint presentation. Okay. I am making for you. It is a big effort. So please utilize it. I think it can help you. Okay, you can use this as revision also. So let's begin. Okay. Animal tissue. Let me remind you meaning of tissue. Do you remember? Okay. What is tissue? Definition of tissue. Tissue means group of cells. Okay. Tissue means group of cells. Okay. Group of cells with similar function, similar structure will make the tissue. If you remember, this is a cell. Many cells together will form tissue. Now, many tissue together form organs, and many such organs together form organ system. And this organ system together will form the body of organism. Okay, so this is how body is made by the cell ultimately. Okay, so this is the structure. This is the structure formation. And you can see in this diagram that after the cell, second most important thing is tissue. Okay, and here we will be learning about animal tissue. Okay, now there are 4 types of tissues you can see. One is called epithelial tissue, second connective tissue, third is muscle tissue, and fourth is neural tissue. Okay, so there are 4 tissues present. We will be learning all these 4 tissues and its types, and the chapter is over. Okay, let's move ahead. First, epithelial tissue. Now, epithelial tissue means they are covering and protecting tissue. Simple meaning of epithelial is it's a cover of the body. Cover. Okay, it will be covering. It will be covering anything where it is present. Okay, so it is a covering and protecting. Obviously, just you know, remember that why we use cover. Okay, cover of anything like we are using cover of our mobile phone. So what cover is doing? Number one, cover is outside of the mobile phone and it is protecting the mobile. Okay, same way epithelial tissues are present outside, they will be covering, and when it is covering, it is protecting. Cover most organs. Now, epithelial tissue covers most organs. What it covers? It covers organ. And it covers the cavity within the body. If there is a cavity within the body, it is covered by, protected by epithelial tissue. It forms a barrier. It forms barrier. Obviously, it is outer covering. So cover is in between the 2 different things, 2 different places. And that is how it creates a barrier which keep different body systems separate from each other. So it also separates 2 systems. Epithelial tissue cells are tightly packed. Okay. The cells of epithelial are very, very tightly packed. Okay. They are very congested and they form a continuous sheet, continuous layer. Okay. There is no gap in between. no gap. They are continuous. Okay, so this is the common character of epithelial tissue. That what do you mean by epithelial tissue? So these are the character. Let me remind you. Okay, sorry. Let me no revise it again for you very quickly. They are covering, they are protecting, they will be covering the organs and cavities within the body, and they forms a barrier between two systems, two organs. They are very, very tightly packed with each other, and there is no gap in between. They are continuous layer, continuous sheet. Together, they do some function like they protect, absorb, secrete. Okay, it is the function of all the common epithelial tissue. Move ahead. This is the general structure of epithelial tissue. Now, what is the general structure? Okay, you can directly learn this from the diagram. So let me directly explain through the diagram. Number one, this is what you see. This is cell. What is this? Cell. Cell of what? Epithelial. Cell of what? Epithelial. Okay. So here, the cells of epithelial are present on basement membrane. What is this blue color structure do you see? It's called basement membrane. So let me draw. So this is basement membrane. It is basement membrane. On this basement membrane, the cells are present like this. Okay, these are the cells. And where the cells are, they present on basement membrane. Okay, I'm writing BM. All the cells are connected with each other through cement material. So this portion means between two cells. Okay, what we can see is called cement material. A cement material means it is a glue-like structure which will hold the cells together, and they have a nucleus. They have nucleus because they are cells. So what structure do you see is epithelial tissue. Okay, the same diagram is here made by a PowerPoint presentation. This is basement membrane. Okay, let me make this clear first. So this is basement membrane on which these cells are present. Okay, you can see this is a cell, and two cells are stick with each other by cement material. So there will be cement material. In a center, you can see nucleus. Okay, so this is the structure of epithelial tissue. Let me read it. Epithelial tissue cells are tightly packed. Okay, you can see they are tightly packed. There is no gap in between. And they form the continuous sheet layer. They have only small amount of cementing material, means this cement material, but they have very small amount. Okay, not large amount, very small. But yet it is very strong. Okay, understand, cement material is very small. What is small? Glue is very small. Okay, cement material is very small, but still it is very, very strong. And there is no intercellular space present, and they present on the basement membrane. Clear? This is the structure. Next, this is the chart of epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue divides into simple epithelial tissue and compound epithelial tissue. Simple epithelial tissue further divides under a squamous, cuboidal, and columnar according to their shape. Okay, how? Shape. They are divided into squamous, cuboidal, columnar. Then cuboidal are also present as ciliated cuboidal, and columnar also present as ciliated columnar. Then there is pseudo stratified epithelial tissue, and in compound epithelial tissue there is a stratified and transitional epithelial tissue. So these all are the types of epithelial tissue we are going to learn. Let's move ahead. First, simple epithelial tissue. Now pay attention over here. First, simple epithelial tissue. First, let's learn general structure. It is a general structure. Okay, so simple, why we call it simple? The name is simple epithelial tissue because they arranged in single layer. This is the answer. When these cells are present in a single layer, okay, in a single layer, it is called simple. So single is equal to simple, and intercellular matrix does not occur. Okay, matrix is absent over here. Simple epithelial tissue. Okay, let me show you something else. Now, so I gave you what is epithelial tissue, idea about. Then we saw this whole big structure, okay, this chart. Now, the first tissue in the chart is squamous epithelial tissue. The squamous epithelial tissue. Now, what is squamous epithelial tissue? We have to learn structure, function, okay. So, first, the squamous epithelial tissue. Okay, what do you see? See the diagram first. This green color structure is what? This is basement membrane. Now very carefully see the structure. Basement membrane. And on the basement membrane, these cells are present. And these cells are how they look. They look flat. Okay, they are flat and thin cells. Okay. These cells are looking flat and thin, and they present on basement membrane. Okay, you can see. Now, let me read this. The structure, cells are present in single layer because it is simple. It is the type of simple epithelial tissue, squamous. Simple means single layer. So cells are present in single layer. Second, they attached on the basement membrane. Where they present? On the basement membrane. See the diagram. Cells are attached to each other with glue-like structure called cement material. So only 3 points are there to remember and understand. Again, let me draw it for you. This is the basement membrane on which cells are present, and all cells are attached with each other by cement material. And also they have nucleus in the center. They have nucleus almost into the center. Okay. And what you see, this is single layer. This is single layer. Okay. So that single layer you can see here. Now see very carefully this diagram. You can see a little bit in animation is there. Okay. This, the green one is basement membrane where flat cells are present. See, the cells are keep on coming. Okay. So these are the cells, and how cells are looking very carefully. Again, how do you see the cells? What is their shape? They are thin and flat. The cells are thin and flat. Okay. Next, they have nucleus. See, the nucleus is coming. So we can see the nucleus. Okay. And in between the cell, cement material is present somewhere here. Okay. Where I'm drawing this red line, over there, cement material is present everywhere between two cells. Okay. Everywhere. With which all the cells are in a tissue attached with each other. Because of that, they are able to form the tissue. Okay. Next, what is their shape? See, the shape is written again. Shape is thin and flat. And they are polygonal with the prominent round to oval nucleus. You can see there is nucleus present in the center. When we look from above, it is looking like hexagonal, or the word is polygonal. It's look like polygonal when I look from above. But when I look from this side, side. Okay, side angle. What I can see is the cells are looking flat. Okay, when I look from the side, I can see the cells are flat. Okay, flat like tile on the floor. Flat like tiles on the floor. And in the center, they have oval to round nucleus. And because they look like flat tiles like, okay, they also known as pavement tissue. One more name is there of a squamous epithelial tissue, which is known as pavement tissue. Okay, so you can see the shape, structure, and its general description. Now, location of the squamous epithelial tissue, where you can find this tissue in the body. So we can find this tissue. Location is inner surface of the mouth. You can find them into your mouth, into esophagus, into the blood vessels, and alveoli of lungs. This is their location. And what is their function? The function of squamous epithelium is to help in transportation, gaseous exchange in the lungs at the tissue level, and in the lungs level, okay, alveoli level. And they protect the underlying tissue. Okay, they protect underlying tissue. So function is transportation, second is exchange of the material, and third is protection. Third is protection. So let me just give you directly transportation, exchange of the material, and protection. So three functions are there of squamous epithelial tissue. Next. Okay. So squamous is over. Okay. Squamous tissue is over. Now, second tissue is cuboidal tissue. Second is cuboidal. Let's see the cuboidal tissue. Now, cuboidal tissue are cube-shaped cells. Okay, their shape is cube. Cube means square. Cube means square. They look like square in a shape. Because their shape is square, they are known as cuboidal epithelium. Okay. Cells are cube-shaped in vertical section. Okay, if I cut it vertically, I can see their shape is cube shape. But if I look from the above, okay, from horizontal section, I can see the shape is polygonal. Means, let me draw it for you. Means, when I'm looking from the above, I can see the shape is polygonal. But when I look from this angle, okay, this angle, it is looking like a cube shape. But when I look from above, it is polygonal. Clear? Okay. Now they attached on the basement membrane. Every epithelial tissue will be attached to the basement membrane. So again, they are cube-shaped cells in the vertical section, but polygonal in horizontal section. Section means cut. Attached to the basement membrane, they present on the basement membrane. Cells boundary glued by cement material. Means cement material is present between two cells. And nucleus is present in the center of the cell. So nucleus is in center. Cells of the absorptive surface often bear microvilli. Sometimes these cells possess microvilli. What is a villi? First, this is a cell. Cube-shaped cells. In a center, they have a nucleus and they present on the basement membrane. So this is basement membrane. Okay. This is basement membrane. Now, these cells, every epithelial tissues are having two sides. Side number one, which is open side. Okay. And this side, which is not open, or you can say attached side. So some tissues sometimes On their open side, see the diagram I'm drawing, okay? On their open side, possess villi. Villi means finger-like projections like this, which is called microvilli. So they possess microvilli on their open free end. Okay, open, or you can say free. Now, if I want to draw, just simply draw hair-like structure. And when this hair-like structure is there, okay, which is known as microvilli, Okay, let's go to the next slide. This is basement membrane. See this diagram. This is basement membrane. I'm writing BM in short. Then on which cube-shaped cells are present. See, cube shape is present. And in the center, they have nucleus. Okay. And sometimes on this surface, they possess this hair-like structure. Sometimes, which is called microvilli. Now, what is the location of cuboidal epithelial tissue? Their location is proximal tubules of the kidney. You can find them into PCT of kidney, means inside the kidney tubules, kidney tubules. Then into salivary gland, into pancreatic duct, into thyroid gland and ovary. This is the location of cuboidal epithelial tissue. Okay, these are the place in the body of human where you can find cuboidal epithelial tissue. And what is the function of this tissue? Function will be protection, secretions of what? Gastric juices or hormones, and absorption and excretion. They do 4 functions. They protect, they secrete, they absorb, and they excrete. These cuboidal epithelium tissues sometimes form the gland, okay? And they secrete something. Under such case, they are known as glandular epithelial tissue. Why glandular? Because they make the gland, and gland secrete something. And reabsorption of useful material and secrete saliva into salivary gland. For example, salivary gland. Okay, salivary gland secretes saliva. And it is possible because it is containing cuboidal epithelial tissue, which is secreting the saliva or making saliva and then secreting saliva. So this is the function. Next, so squamous over, cuboidal tissue over. Right now, the third tissue, columnar epithelial tissue. This is columnar epithelial tissue. We call it columnar because the shape of this tissue is pillar-like, okay? They are tall pillar-like cells. How they are? They are tall, pillar-like cells, okay? Because they are tall, they are known as column, okay? Looking like a column, columnar epithelial tissue. Structure is cells are elongated in the shape. Okay, how elongated? Pillars like, tall in size, shape. They are tall. Their inner ends are generally narrow, but free ends are broad. Now, inner end means the end near basement membrane, which is called inner. Or I just told you that you can say they are the close end. Close end, okay? And this is free end or open end. Okay, the upper area is open end or free end, and the lower area is, which is connected to the basement membrane, is inner or close end. Okay, so their close end is generally narrow, and free ends are broad. So if I just draw it, okay, the free ends are like this, and the below ends are like this. Okay. And they present on the basement membrane. Again, remember, whenever I draw something like this is the basement membrane. Okay. So you can see this is the nucleus. Okay. And their surface is polygonal. Means when I look from this above angle, what I can see is they are looking polygonal in a shape. Okay, from above angle. But when I look from the side angle, okay, they are looking tall pillar-like. A nucleus is present near the base. Okay, they possess the nucleus, but not in a center, near the base. Okay, see, near the base. Cells are attached on basement membrane and glued with each other by cement material. Common point for every column epithelial tissue. Okay. Then what is its location? Simple columnar epithelium forms lining layer of mucous membrane of stomach. Means present into stomach. Present into stomach. Okay, they form the mucous membrane in the stomach. In the stomach. Okay, in the stomach. Inner lining of stomach. Okay, then into intestine, into gallbladder, into urinogenital organs and their duct. This is the place where you can find columnar epithelial tissue. And what is their function? They secrete, they absorb. Okay, they do two functions. They either can secrete or absorb something. Secretions, okay, what they secrete? So example of secretion is they secrete digestive enzymes in the stomach. See the correlation. They present into stomach. Okay. And what they do there, they secrete digestive enzymes for digestion of your food. And they absorb. But what they absorb? They absorb the food which is digested by this enzyme. So you can see they do both the functions. They absorb also and they secrete also. Okay. This is basement membrane where pillar-like tall cells are coming and they have nucleus in the center. Okay. Now, squamous over, cuboidal over, columnar over. We have to see ciliated, cuboidal, ciliated, columnar. What is the meaning of ciliated? Okay. Now, ciliated, because you can see in the diagram, they possess a cilia. Cilia. Okay. Cilia is also fine hair-like structure on their free end. On their free end. You can see this is the diagram. You can see in this diagram. Okay. Let's just read this. Structurally, free end possesses cilia. Okay. The free end possess the cilia like in this diagram. What is cilia? Protoplasmic processes. The cilia is protoplasmic processes as in the diagram. Location where you can find the ciliated columnar and ciliated cuboidal epithelium. So, ciliated epithelial present on the place where you can find ciliated epithelium tissue on a trachea, also called as windpipe. Okay, windpipe in your lungs. Windpipe's function is to carry oxygen and CO2, okay, which helps in respiration, breathing. That is called windpipe or also known as trachea. Okay. So, they present into the windpipe, trachea, present into uriniferous tubule in the kidney. Then they present into auditory tubes in your ear. Okay, in your ear. Their function is to clean. Okay, their function is to clean the trachea by removing the mucus from the trachea. Now, these cilias which are present over here. Okay, let me try to explain. Like this is the diagram you can see, okay, in the grayscale. For example, this is something, this red dot, something which is a mucus, for example. So these cilia will create the movement in single direction. Okay, they will be moving like this. Okay, you can see, if you can see my hands. Okay, so they will be like moving like this in the same direction. Okay, like this in the same direction, in the same direction, because of which this mucus will travel from one end to another end, and it will then move from that place to this place. Okay, so this is how it do the function of cleaning, like this. You know, when you take out the sputum, hathu, okay, so that sputum will come till your neck, okay, till your throat with this cilia. Okay, and cilia will push that mucus from your lungs to your throat, and from the throat we are keeping it out, we are throwing it out. So this is called cleaning. Okay, so these are helping into cleaning. By removing the mucus from the trachea, they move particles. Okay, their second function is to move the particle. Obviously cilia will move and they will okay, thrust the particles. The free end mucus in specific direction, they will be removing the particles, but in specific direction only, not in any direction. Okay, in specific particular direction, single direction only. Now you can see their difference, there is no difference, only one difference, that is these are the cilia present on free end. Okay, other all things are same, like basement membrane is there, cells are there, and nucleus is there, and between two cells cement material is present. Okay, now columnar, ciliated, everything is over. See your progress, see your progress, we are progressing very fast. Right now we will be learning pseudo stratified. Okay, pseudo stratified epithelial tissue. Now pseudo means false and stratified means multi-layer. Okay, let me make one thing clear. We are learning right now simple epithelial tissue. See this, what we are learning? See the chart, simple. Simple means single layer. And under the single layer, this is stratified. And meaning of stratified is multi-layer. Now, how it is possible that a multi-layer is under this single layer? No, it is not single. It is not multi-layer. It is itself a single layer, but it is looking like, falsely looking like multi-layer, and so the name is given pseudo. Pseudo means false. False multi-layer. It looks like multi-layer, but it is in reality single layer. Okay. So stratified means multiple layer. Epithelial. Now, structurally, epithelial cells are present in multiple layer, which is called stratified. Location, skin on outer layer of the body of animal. And function, protection, the underlying tissue and helping into wear and tear. Now, when I'm saying pseudo, so let me just give you the diagram, okay, as an example. Like, this is what we used to draw like this. From this diagram, you can say that they are single layer. They are single layer. But in pseudo-stratified, what happens that the cells are twisted. The cells are twisted, like this cell is twisted like this. Okay. And the neighbor cell is going all the way upside, for example, like this. Okay, this cell will be at the back side. And over here, one more cell is present like this. and they all are present on the basement membrane. So this is the basement membrane. Okay. And they will be having the nucleus. Like I can see nucleus over here, nucleus over here, nucleus over here, here, and like this, so on. And the backside cells are here also. So when I look from this angle, what I can see is, I can see two layers. Like this is layer number 1 and this is layer number 2. But in actually, they are not two layer. They are single layer, but they are twisted in each other. And so they are looking in multiple layer. This is known as pseudo. Okay, it is known as pseudo. Okay. But this is the true, what you see is layer number 1, layer number 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, these are all multiple layer tissues. Now, so pseudo over means whole simple epithelial is over. Now we have to go forward about, okay, towards the compound epithelial tissue, and that too stratified. Now compound, see, simple meaning single. So the reverse, compound, because in other terms we can say they are multiple layer. Not single layer, but multi-layer, which is called as compound over here. And it possesses, it has two types, stratified and transitional epithelial tissue. So let's learn about stratified epithelial tissue. I'm hoping that you are getting this. Okay, so these are the two tissues. Now you can see this diagram. Do you see? This is layer number 1 and this is layer number 2. And what is the shape of this cell? The shape is cube shape. So according to the shape, the name is given cuboidal. And what we are learning? Stratified compound. Okay, cuboidal compound stratified. Clear how to give the name and how to recognize the tissue according to their shape. If they are single layer, they will be simple. These are two layer. So two layer means compound. Okay, and under the compound, stratified. They are the stratified. So they are cuboidal stratified tissue. Description, two or more layers of the cells. Okay, two or more layers of the cells are present. Cells in apical layer are cube-shaped cells. Fairly rare types. Okay, these type of tissues are very rare in the body, obviously, but they are present in the body. What is the location? Duct of the adult sweat glands and esophageal glands, part of male urethra. Three places where you can find this cuboidal stratified compound epithelial tissue. What is their function? Their function is to protect limited secretions and helps in absorption. Three function: protection, secretion, absorption. Okay. Okay. Now, description of the second type. Now, what do you see? What is the shape of this cell? It is not cube shape. Okay. So what is the shape? The shape is, it is looking like a pillar. That means columnar. It is looking like, okay, columnar epithelial. But you can see that they are in double layer, more than one layer. So they are stratified columnar epithelial. So let me just write stratified. Clear? How to recognize them? Okay. Basal layers usually consist of shortened, irregularly shaped cells. Okay, you can see in the diagram. Okay, these cells are called base cells and they are called apical means above. Okay, so in the basal layer, cells will be irregular in shape. Okay, their shape is irregular. Only apical layers has the columnar epithelial cells. Okay, means this apical means above cells. They are only columnar, but the downside is not looking like columnar, and which are uncommon. Now, location is they lines the part of urethra. Lines means cover. They cover the part of urethra. Large excretory ducts of some gland. Okay, in some gland, duct of the glands, excretory duct of the glands, not in any gland, but the gland with the ducts. Okay, such as esophageal glands. Example is the same. Again, esophageal glands, small area in mucous membrane and part of conjunctiva of eye. Okay, conjunctiva of eye. So these are the places where you can find stratified columnar epithelial tissue. What is this? Stratified columnar epithelial tissue, because this upper layer is columnar. Yes. Okay. What is the function of this tissue? Protection and secretion. Only two function. Okay. Let's jump on to the next slide. So we just learned about what is the meaning of stratified in very short way. Now the next is transitional. After that, epithelial tissue is over. Yes. Okay. This is, you can see the diagram. Transitional. Okay. This is the diagram. What do you see in the diagram first? This is basement membrane. What you see at the downside is basement membrane. And you can see that these cells are multi-layer, many, more than two. More than two layer, okay? Multiple layer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and almost 6 layers are there. Okay. Let's read the description. Variable appearance means transitional. The meaning of transitional is written here as variable appearance, looking like different, variety, in relaxed or unstretched state, means under normal condition. Looks like stratified cuboidal. Okay, how it is look, see the, what is the shape do you see in this image? What is the shape do you see in the image? Does it look like cuboidal, cube shape? Okay, cube shape. Is it look like a cube shape? Yes. Okay. And why stratified? Multiple layer? It is more than two layer, multiple layer. Okay. So it is stratified cuboidal epithelium, except apical layer. See, the above layer is looking different. This is above layer, which is called apical layer. And all these are below layer. This is apical. These are the below layer. But okay. And this last single layer is known as germinal layer. The germinal layer will continuously, whenever needed, okay, they will add some new cells on above side. Okay. So this is the below layer. So likewise, okay, you can see three layers are there. Okay. Now, except, again, see, it looks like stratified cuboidal epithelium. It looks like, but it is not that type. Except at the apical layer, cells tend to be large and rounded. Okay, you can see from this angle how they look. They look round. Okay, not the cube shape, but round. Okay. As tissue is stretched, if you stretch that tissue like a rubber band, cells will become flatter. Okay, the cells becomes flat because you are stretching it like a rubber band and giving the appearance of the stratified squamous. So when you stretch it, it will be looking like squamous. Okay. Now, so once you have learned this, let me now explain this thing in a simple way. The meaning. It is what stratified cuboidal means. The shape is cube shape under normal condition, no stretching condition. But when you stretch it like a rubber band, because it is a stretching force is there, it is squeezing the cells and the cells will form flat appearance. Flat and thin appearance. And you know, flat and thin appearance is of squamous epithelium. So initially they are look like a cube, but later on they look like, when you stretch it, they look like flat, thin, squamous tissue. So what do you see is, this is called transition. This is called as transition from cube to flat, thin cells. And this is the reason we call them transitional epithelium tissue. Clear? Why we call them transitional? Okay. Still they are multi-layer. They are multi-layer. And we call the multi-layer, the term okay, is call them stratified. Okay. So why this is not under the stratified? Because they are multiple layer, but still they are not under stratified, but they are under transitional. Because initially they are cube shape, and when you stretch them, appear like flat squamous epithelium. Okay, which is a transition state. Okay. Now, multiple layers and elasticity make it ideal for lining the hollow structure like urinary bladder. Okay, an expansion from within. Now, directly we have to look for the location, means where you can find them. So location is urinary bladder and portions of the ureter and urethra. 3 places. Ureter, urethra. 2 different things are there. Okay. And the bladder. 3 places. You can find transitional epithelial tissue. Okay. The function. What is the function of this tissue? The function is allows urinary organs to stretch and maintain protective lining. Means whenever you apply the force of a stretching, okay, it won't get hurt because it is highly elastic. While holding the variable amounts of fluid without rupturing. This is connective tissue. Connective tissue, let's learn first the common structure. So these tissues are the group of, okay, these tissues are what? They are the group of. In this tissue, you can see 3 things. They are made up of 3 things. Number 1, there are presence of some cells. Cells are present into matrix. Matrix means medium. The medium where cells are deposited inside, okay? And then there are some fibers are present. Now I will give you some overview that how many types of cells are there, how many types of matrices are there, and how many types of fibers are there, which is literally going to be exceptional for you, because if you want, you can go in detail. Otherwise, you just directly can skip that and go to the next, directly to the point of connective tissue types. Okay, so let's begin. But I think this is going to be helpful for you, that what are the cells, matrix, and fibers. And fibers and intercellular substance secreted by cells. Now, this is the point you need to understand. The cells present into connective tissue, they secrete material. Okay, they secrete some material. They secrete material which will be helping, or which will be making the medium matrix, or which will be making the fibers. Okay, the fibers. Now, See, next, cells are quietly, widely spaced into the matrix. Cells are spaced. Okay, there is a space in between. And the chief function is to connect the tissue to each other and so forming organ. This is the reason we call them connective tissue, because their main function, chief function is to connect tissue to tissue. Next, the first part, types of matrix. Okay, what a matrix is? Medium. What a matrix is? Medium. Type number one, fluid matrix, means this matrix, this medium is fluid in the nature. It is fluid. Blood and lymph. In the lymph tissue and blood tissue, the matrix is fluid, and that is why blood is liquid in nature. Okay, how your blood is, it is a liquid, but it is liquid because of its matrix is fluid, liquid matrix. And this matrix allows transportations of cells, then transportations of nutrient, transportations of waste product throughout the body, and that is the reason matrix is like that. Second type of matrix is semi-fluid. It is not fluid fully, but semi-fluid, jelly-like. Okay, so it is characteristics of the loose connective tissue like areolar tissue. This is example actually. Okay, this is the example of the tissue where you can find this semi-fluid matrix. Gel-like consistency. Okay, it is gel-like, and that is why it's called semi-fluid, where it will permit cellular movement and nutrient diffusion. Okay, because it is a semi-fluid, so movement of the cells and nutrient is possible. Then the third type of the matrix is called dense matrix. Dense matrix is present, it is hard, kind of hard. So dense matrix is present into cartilage and bones. You know your bones are very strong and hard because its matrix is hard, packed with fiber and minimal ground substance. Okay, the ground substance means between two cells and between the fibers, the material is very, very less, which is called ground tissue secreted by cells, which is very less for the structural strength. And why this is so? Why the ground substance is less? Because it will become hard, and hardness will give structural support. Clear? So this is the three types of the matrix you need to just see. If you can't remember, not a problem. Right now, just understand. Let's go to the next slide. There are fiber. Now, fiber, three types of fibers are there. Number one is called collagen fiber. Collagen fibers are white in color. Okay, every collagen fibers are white in color. They are flexible in nature and they are extremely strong. They provide tensile strength, and they have few types like from 1 to 5, and have distinct functions in the different tissue. As the tissue changes, their function also changes. And these fibers are always normally present into bundle. Remember that. And they are non-branched. They present into bundles. Okay. And they are non-branched. Then second is elastic fiber. They are yellow in color and they are branching, and they are not in bundle. So if I draw the diagram, you can see this is the diagram of yellow fiber. Okay. Let me take yellow color pen for the yellow fiber. Like this is yellow fiber. It is yellow in color and it is branched. It is branched. Okay. So they are yellow in color. They are branching network that allows stretch and recoil. So they show elasticity. Okay, they are elastic fiber. They show elasticity. If you stretch them, they will again recoil themselves. And fibrillin. Fibrillin is again a protein name found in skin, where you can find this elastic fiber. So they are present in skin, in blood vessels, etc., etc. Then the third fiber, which is called reticular fiber. The reticular fiber, they are thin collagen fiber. Okay, they are thin. They are collagen, but thin than the normal collagen fiber. And they will form the delicate structure that will support the soft organs and create the stroma for hematopoietic tissue. Now, hematopoiesis means blood formation. Okay, blood formation is known as hematopoiesis. And hematopoietic tissue means bone marrow. Because in the bone marrow, blood is formed. So the bone marrow's stroma is formed by reticular fiber tissue. Now, stroma means internal filling material. Okay, the filling material, padding material, internal. Like if I just draw XYZ gland, for example, the gland is there, okay, or any organ is there. So this will be this outer line. It is outer line, which will be sometimes known as capsule, for example, kidney and the liver. And the whole inner portion will contain some cells of that particular organ. And that cells are suspended into this matrix, which is called as stroma. So this is a stroma. Stroma is a supporting medium. And in the stroma, other cells are present. Okay. In the stroma, some other cells are present. The cells of tissue, particular tissue. So the background red color portion is stroma. It is a stroma. Okay. So let's go to the next slide. Now there are some cells. Okay, cells. How many cells are there totally together into connective tissue? Okay, this is just an overview. The first cell is called fibroblast cell. The fibroblast cells are most common type of connective tissue cells into connective tissue. They are present normally everywhere, and they're responsible for producing and secreting. Okay, they produces something or secrete something. And what they secrete? Extracellular matrix. They secrete extracellular matrix, the medium. It includes collagen and other fiber. So they secrete the protein, and the protein will make fiber also. So you can say that fibroblast cells will make fibers also and matrix also, which provide structural support and strength to the tissue where they present. So they will support and give strength. Second tissue is called chondrocyte. Chondrocyte cells are cells of cartilage. Okay, the cartilage cells are known as together chondrocytes. Now, they are responsible for synthesizing and maintaining the cartilage matrix. Okay, the matrix of cartilage is made by, synthesized by cells of cartilage chondrocytes. You can see it's a common point. Fibroblast also secrete the matrix and the fiber. Similarly, chondrocytes also form matrix, which is a specialized type of connective tissue that provides smooth, flexible support and cushioning. Now, what is this support? The support is from the connective tissue, that is cartilage. Okay, the cartilage. The cartilage will give cushioning and support. And cartilage is very smooth. It is smooth connective tissue, but it is smooth. And why it is smooth, we will be learning that into the next slide. Okay, it is there when we will be learning the cartilage. So right now, leave it over here. Just understand this. Chondrocytes are the cells of cartilage. Adipocytes, they store the fat, and they are the cells of adipose tissue. Okay, and they also provide cushioning and energy storing material, and also provide insulation. Then the fourth type of the cells are osteocyte. Osteocyte are the cells of the bone. Okay, your bone cells are known as osteocyte. Osteocytes are mature bone cells that maintain the bone matrix, okay, the matrix of the bone tissue, and play a role in the bone remodeling and calcium homeostasis. Means balance of the calcium in the body and in the blood and in the bones. Remodeling. So two functions are there done by this osteocyte cells. Next is a master cell. Master cells provide immune responses, okay? Immunity, your power of protection, and contains granules that release histamine. Okay, they secrete histamine. Mast cell secretes histamine and other inflammatory mediator. You know, when you have some inflammation in the body, so that inflammation is due to some cells like this mast cell. So mast cell secrete the histamine. Then next, macrophage. Macrophage cells are the part of immune cell. They are also part of immune system. It will protect yourself from foreign antigen and engulf. How? By engulfing and removing the cellular debris of the pathogen. Pathogen means microorganisms that will cause you the disease, called pathogen. Okay, harmful microorganisms are pathogens. So such pathogens are being killed by macrophage. Okay, cleared by macrophage. And then the plasma cell is there. A plasma cell produces antibody. Okay, they produces antibody. You must have heard the term antibodies, which are protein. Antibodies are what? Antibodies are actually protein. They are protein and nothing else. Antibodies are the protein structure. They are made up of protein, antibody, that helps the body, our body, fighting against infections and microorganisms. So plasma cells are again immune cells. They are also the part of immune system and they produces antibody. Then reticular cells found into reticular connective tissue. And this type of connective tissue forms network of the fiber and cells. Okay, they form network of cells and network of the fiber, reticular fiber, that will support the organs like lymph nodes. Example, they present in the lymph node and the bone marrow. Like, okay, the organs are there where these reticular cells are present or tissue is present. So this is enough, more than enough actually. You just need to know the name of the cells only, okay? If you don't remember this right now, not a problem. Just remember the name of a cell. That reticular cell is there, plasma cell is there, macrophage is there, mast cell is there, okay? So on. Now, next, you have to go, yes, next is connective tissue function. So the function, you can just read it, see, it will connect up the structure. As the name says, connective tissue, it will help in connection the structures to each other in the body. Like it will connect tissue to tissue, organ, so on, okay? So connection is made by this tissue. And you will see why and what type of connection in further learning. To form packaging around organs. You can see they what else they do. They do packaging also. They do packaging. They do, okay, cushioning. They replaces the tissue which have been destroyed by injuries. If there is injury in your tissue, okay, so those tissue cells which are replaced by the injured part will be replaced by this tissue. Okay. Next is combat foreign toxin. They combat the foreign toxins from microorganisms, for example. Okay. Then to form the supporting, they form support, they give support framework like skeletons in the animal. So these are the functions of, okay, common functions of collective connecting tissue. Okay, connecting tissue, connective tissue. Yes. Okay, let's move ahead. Now, from here, you have to pay attention. This is the chart of connective tissue. Connective tissue proper. Then the skeletal tissue is there, and the third is fluid connective tissue. The fluid connective tissues example is blood. We will be learning the blood. There is one more example that is called lymph. Then skeletal tissues are of two types, cartilage and bone. So you can see bones and cartilage are connective tissue. Blood is also connective tissue because they are connecting the whole body to each other, okay, organ to organ, like that. And then the next is connective tissue proper. You can see that these tissues, the first tissue, okay, connective tissues, they are examples are areolar tissue, adipose tissue, tendons and ligaments, okay. So these are the examples we are going to learn into connective tissues of animal. Let's move next. First, we will be learning the areolar tissue. And before that, this is the chart, okay? There are types of connective tissue, like we call them loose connective tissue. And why we call them loose? Because cells are loosely packed and fibers are also less. There is space between them. Example is areolar tissue, adipose tissue, and third is reticular tissue. Then there is dense connective tissue. We call it dense because it is densely packed with the cells and the fiber. So many fibers are there. So much fiber is there. So example is dense regular, dense irregular, and elastic connective tissue. Then cartilage is of three types: hyaline cartilage, fibrocartilage, elastic cartilage. Then we will be learning the bone tissue and liquid connective tissue like blood and lymph. Okay, we will not be learning the lymph right now. So let's jump on to the next slide. Connective tissue. In that, we'll be right now learning connective tissue proper in that areolar type, areolar tissue. So this is areolar tissue. Now you can see how this tissue is now. Structure. Structure is divided into matrix, means what type of matrix they have, what type of cells they have, and what type of fibers they have, like that. So matrix is a semi-liquid jelly-like matrix. And cells are fibroblast cells are there, mast cell is present, WBC is there, macrophage is there. Okay, so these are the cells present into areolar tissue. And fibers. So how which fibers are this? Fibers, you can see white fiber means collagen fiber is there, yellow fiber is there, and reticular fibers are present. Okay, now you know their proper meaning. Okay, so this is the structure of the connective tissue, areolar tissue. Location is very important, where you can find them. So we can find this areolar tissue below the skin, muscles surrounding the blood vessels. And its function is to support and make cushioning. Okay, it will provide cushioning so that your internal organs like blood vessels and other muscles, okay, will not get injured. So it provides a cushioning, means support. Like we take a cushion for our head similarly, okay, so that injuries are minimal. And also gives flexibility. See, they give flexibility and strength, and also connect different organs to each other. So this is their function. It will create connection between organ to organ. It will provide strength. It is giving flexibility and provide cushioning. Next slide, this is the diagram. Okay. You can see these are the areolar tissues diagram. Okay, where you can see yellow fiber is there. Then this blue, this is the fiber, which is called collagen fiber. Then this yellow fiber is elastin fiber. Then this all the cells like mast cell, okay, plasma cells, like cells are present, and fibroblast cell. These are the fibroblast cells. Then mast cell, like cells are present. Okay, let's jump on to the next. Second tissue is adipose tissue. Adipose tissue. So adipose tissues, again, the matrix is jelly-like. Okay, matrix is jelly-like, same like areolar tissue. Cells are known as adipocytes. You can directly write in one word, adipocyte. Okay, the cells are adipocyte, and adipocytes are filled by fat. Then fibers are collagen fiber, reticular fiber, but these fibers are very less in amount. Okay, but high amount of adipocytes and very less amount of collagen fiber. So when you look them under the microscope, okay, you hardly find some fiber, but fibers are always there in every tissue, either in less amount of or high amount. Location of the adipose tissue below the skin. Where you can find them? So it is below the skin. Then around internal organs, your organs like kidney, eyeball, and into your abdomen, the fat is present below the skin. And function is to store fat and oil, and it is creating insulation for the body so that we can stop the heat loss. Heat should not get lost by the body. So that is where it is providing insulation like a jacket, natural jacket, so that heat will not go outside. It will not get lost. And the fat, we know that the fat is working as energy supplying material. Why we do eat the fat? Because of energy purpose. Okay, we want energy from that. So it provides energy from the stored fat during the fasting time. When you are eating nothing, at that time you will get energy from the fat. So this is all about adipose tissue. This is the diagram of adipose tissue. You can see this is a cell. This is the nucleus. This is cytoplasm. And you can see this whole big white structure. This is actually fat. And this fat is present in a big amount so that the nucleus of the cell is pushed aside. You can see nucleus is not in center. It is pushed aside by this fat droplet. Okay, so this is adipocytes. This cell is adipocyte. Okay, now if I draw the whole diagram, this is the whole diagram. Okay, let me draw for you. Like this is the cell, and this is like this. This will be the nucleus. Clear? And this is fat. Okay, let's move next. Next is reticular loose connective tissues. Okay, reticular connective tissue. Matrix is jelly-like, gelatinous ground substance. Cells are called reticular cells and fibers are reticular fiber. What a reticular fiber is? Thin form of collagen fiber. Location is, you can see into the stroma, means supporting framework of the liver. In the liver, you can see them. Spleen, lymph nodes. Now, this is the lymph node. It is the diagram of lymph node. And inside this stroma, it is looking something like this. Okay, this blue color is fiber. And these are the cells of reticular. So it's called reticular cells. Then reticular lamina of the basement membrane. In a basement membrane. Remember the basement membrane of epithelial tissue. So that is basement membrane. Over there also it is present. And around the blood vessels and muscles also. Reticular loose connective tissue is present. What is the function of this reticular connective tissue? It forms the stroma of the organs, means internal structure, supportive framework, then binds to the smooth muscle tissue cells. It will bind to the smooth muscles tissue, filters and remove the worn out cells. Okay, it will filter the dead cells from the spleen and from the lymph node. This is the lymph node. Again, I will tell you, this is the lymph node. In this lymph node, so many WBCs are present. These WBCs will kill the microorganisms in your body. Okay. So if by chance any microorganisms enter in your body, it will be killed by these WBCs. So over here, there will be the dead body. There will be the dead body of WBCs and some microorganisms. And they will be cleared by this reticular connective tissue. So I hope that this is it. Next, dense irregular connective tissue. You can see this is the diagram of irregular. We call it irregular because these are the fibers. You see, these are the fibers which are irregularly placed. Okay, not properly. And that's the reason we call it irregular. And this irregular tissue is again present below the skin. Okay, below skin, like here. This is the portion where it is present. Let's see the matrix. Matrix is irregular arranged bundles of collagen. See, collagen bundle is there. You can see in this diagram, but they are irregularly arranged with fibroblast cells. And which cells are present? Fibroblast with a little ground tissue. So the matrix is very little, jelly-like. Provide high tensile strength to the organ where they present. And what it will do in your body, it will provide you the strength, tensile strength. You can stretch it, but it will not break. Elasticity. Cells are fibroblast cells. Fibers are collagen fiber. But fibers are irregularly arranged, like this. Okay? Like this, irregularly arranged anywhere. So these are the fibers, but irregular. Okay. And some elastic fibers are also present, yellow fiber, but very little amount. Now, where you can find, okay, location. So often occurs in a sheet such as fascia, a tissue beneath the skin, around muscles and other organs. Like we are doing the lamination to the mobile screen and others. The same way, it is the lamination of your organs, which is called fascia. Reticular means deeper regions of the dermis of the skin, okay? Deep in your skin. Fibrous pericardium. Peri means surrounding, cardium means heart. So it is the heart, and heart is surrounded by this structure. So this is pericardium. This outer structure is pericardium. Then periosteum of the bone means similar, your bones are also surrounded by the material. Like, see, I'm using this black pen to make this separate. This black color structure is what? Periosteum. Similar, this black color structures surrounding your heart is pericardium. Similarly, into perichondrium. Chondrium means cartilage. So cartilage is also laminated by such sheath-like material, which is perichondrium, present into joint capsules in your joints, okay, joints. Then membrane capsules around various organs. Okay, so organs are also from their outside are laminated, which is like kidney, liver, testes, and lymph node. So their outside a membrane is present, which is the dense irregular connective tissue, and also into the valves of heart. And the function of this dense irregular connective tissue is provide tensile pulling strength. You can pull it, you can stretch it into any direction. Next is dense regular. Okay, we just saw irregular, now regular. You can see in the diagram, they are regularly and see properly arranged, properly, not irregularly. Okay, so these are the fibers. What is this? These are the fiber. Now matrix is shiny white extracellular matrix. Cells are fibroblast present but into row. Okay, they are present into row in between the fiber, like here, 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 like this. Okay, yes, what you see, this white structure, this is actually fibroblast. Okay, here this is fibroblast, 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 fibroblast. Okay, like that. So fibroblast is present in between, and fibers, it possess collagen fiber which are regularly arranged in the bundles, because collagen fibers are always in bundle. Collagen fibers will secreted by fibroblast cells. Okay, fibroblast cells will secrete the protein collagen, and collagen protein will make the collagen fiber. And protein, okay, and these collagens are protein. They are what? They are protein. And so they are not living. Protein is not living thing. Okay. And when, that is why when it is getting injury, okay, like tendons and the ligament will get the injury, okay, they will be taking so much time to heal. You can, okay, it will be healed in long time. Obviously, because they are not living. They are not dead also, but they are not living because they are protein. So proteins heal very slowly. Next slide is the same tissue. See, this is also regular connective tissue. Over here, we will be explaining its location and function, means where you can find. So first, location is forms the tendons. Now, what is tendon? Attached muscles to the bone. You can see in the diagram. When bone is attached to the muscle is tendon. Okay, like I will show you this. This is the tendon. This is the tendon. Okay. This is the tendon. See. This is tendon. Okay, this white. So what is that? It is attaching muscles to the bone. So this is the point where it will be attaching. Okay, so this is tendon. Then most ligament. Now what is ligament? Ligament means bone to bone attachment. Now you can see here. Okay, this white one. This white one. Okay, this white is what you can see. It is attaching bone to the bone. It is attaching bone to bone. Okay, this is the ligament. This is the ligament. So bone to bone attachment. Okay, bone to bone attachment. You can see. Now, next is aponeurosis, means a sheet-like tendons that attaches the muscles to muscles and muscles to bone. Again, it will be present as a sheet also, very thin sheet, which is also the dense regular connective tissue. And what is the function? It provides strong attachment, okay, strong attachment between the various structures. Like you can see in this diagram that this is the muscle attached to the bone. So even if you will try to pull it, it will never break normally. Okay, it will never break. Similarly, here also, it will never break under normal condition. So it is providing the strong attachment. Tissue structure withstand pulling tension, okay, along the axis of the fiber. Means if I pull it, or if I pull it in the direction, okay, normally it will never get break. So that is called pulling force. So if you pull it, it is giving, it will never break because of this dense regular connective tissue. Next is elastic connective tissue. Structurally, matrix is unstained tissue is yellowish and very little extracellular matrix. The cells are fibroblast cells and fibers are predominantly elastic fiber. Elastic fiber because of we require elasticity. And because of that, the name is given elastic connective tissue. It has high elasticity. Okay. So location is into the lung tissue. See the place where we require elasticity, like a balloon. So lung tissue, because lungs are becoming bigger and then smaller in a size while breathing. So lung tissue, then walls of elastic arteries. These are the arteries. Okay, these are the arteries. Now this is aorta. This is the heart, and this is aorta. And the wall of aorta, in the wall of aorta, this tissue is present. You can see how it looks in this picture. So this is requiring high elasticity. So walls of elastic arteries, then into the trachea, then bronchial tubes, through vocal cords, supplementary ligament of the penis, and some ligaments between the vertebrae. So these are the places, location where you can find elastic connective tissue, or the place normally where elasticity require. Function, it allows stretching because see, it is elastic, so allows stretching of the various organ and is strong and can recoil. See, it is very strong and can regenerate its original shape, which is called recoiling to the original shape after being stretched. Elasticity is important to normal functioning of lung tissue because it can recoil during exhaling, and elastic arteries recoil between the heartbeats to help maintain the blood flow. We know our heart is doing dhak dhak. So when it is pumping the blood, that is the sound we normally hear. So during that time, it is creating high pressure, and in between two heartbeats, okay, it will again recoil. The blood vessels again recoil, and so that they never normally break because of the elastic connective tissue present over there. Next is next connective tissue is skeletal tissue. In the skeletal tissue, we will be learning the cartilage, and cartilage is of three types: hyaline cartilage, fibrocartilage, and elastic cartilage. Okay. So there is three types of cartilage. Let's see it. First, hyaline cartilage. Okay, the first type is hyaline cartilage. Structurally, what is the matrix? The matrix is hyaline. Hyaline, that is coming from the hyalinose. Hyalinose means glass-like. You know, glass is, we can see through. So glassy. So hyaline cartilage contains resilient gel as a ground substance. Matrix is jelly-like but resilient and appears in the body as bluish, white, shiny substance. Okay, if you look it is looking like a blue glass, something white and blue mixture. Okay, and it is a shiny like glass. Then cells are predominantly chondrocyte. The cells of cartilages are known as chondrocytes. They found in the lacunae surrounded by perichondrium. Now you see, this is the diagram. You can see this is a cell of chondrocyte. So this is what you see is chondrocyte. Means cell of cartilage. Now, just surrounding the cell, you can see this blue color structure. Okay, that is actually called lacunae. Lacunae means khado in Gujarati, okay, gadda in Hindi, a pit in English. So it's a pit-like structure into the cartilage, which is called a lacunae. So it is a lacunae, and inside the lacunae, you can see chondrocyte cell is present. So lacunae is inside the matrix. This is what matrix? This is matrix. So in the matrix, lacunae is there, and in the lacunae, chondrocyte cells are present. And this is surrounded by perichondrium sheet. Okay, perichondrium surrounded by this. The whole cartilage is surrounded by perichondrium. And exception means where the perichondrium is not present. So exception like articulate cartilage in the joints. Where two joints are joined together over there in the cartilage, perichondrium is absent. And cartilage of the epiphyseal plates, where bones, epiphyseal means when bones are lengthened during the growth. Like this is the bone, for example. So this length of the bone is epiphyse. Okay. This portion is epiphyse. And so over there also it is present. Normally, if you see the cartilage is present at the long bones, like this is what I'm drawing is cartilage. What is this? This is cartilage. Okay, cartilage. Cartilage. Okay, at the long bones. This is the cartilage. This is the one location I am saying, just example. Okay, but this is not the same example we are talking about. Okay, see, this is the diagram, so you can understand better. Location is most abundant cartilage in the body. Okay, so hyaline cartilage is most abundant at ends of the long bones. You see this in this colorful picture. This white portion is actually cartilage. This white picture is cartilage. Okay, this is the cartilage. So this is here, and this is also. This is the portion where cartilage is present. Then anterior ends of the ribs. You can see in this diagram, this portion, this white portion. It is the anterior, means front portion of the ribs. So this portion, this white portion is hyaline cartilage, made up of hyaline cartilage. And that is why we are able to move our chest a little bit while breathing. Then into the nose, see the diagram, into the nose, then parts of the larynx. This is the portion of larynx. Okay, this is the portion of larynx. Let me just remove this so that you can understand. So this portion is only larynx. Okay, then into the trachea, and this is trachea. This is trachea, which is called windpipe. Then into the bronchi, means the trachea when divides into small, see, this is trachea. And when this trachea divides inside the lungs, you see, you can see many divisions. So these are called bronchi. Okay. So in the trachea, in the bronchi, and in the larynx. These are the places where hyaline cartilage is present, and also into embryonic and fetal skeleton, baby skeleton, fetal. When it is under the fetal condition, in that hyaline cartilage is present. And what is the function? The function is provide smooth surfaces for the movements at the joints. You can see in this above diagram, over here and over here. Okay, so it provide the smooth surface so that movement is possible. Provide flexibility, provide support, and it is the weakest type of the cartilage. It can break easily. Okay, weak cartilage. Next, is fibrocartilage. Second type is fibrocartilage. Matrix chondrocytes are, again, chondrocyte means cells of the cartilage. So chondrocytes scattered among clearly visible thick bundle of collagen. So you can see the bundle of collagen. Where it is? Here it is. See, these are the bundle of collagen fiber. And in between them, these are the cells, chondrocytes, into the lacunae. These are the chondrocytes. Okay. And what is lacunae? This pit-like structure in which this is a pit-like structure called a lacunae. And in the lacunae, cells are present. Okay. Then cells are chondrocyte cells and fibers are collagen fiber. What is the function? Support and joining structure together. Okay. It supports to the structure and joining structure together. Two things together. Connection. Connection. Okay. Connection. And it next, strength, and it provides strength, provide rigidity, make it strongest type of cartilage. This is strong and rigid in the nature. Okay, it is rigid and strong. Let's see its example, location with the diagram. Like location, pubis symphysis means where hip bones are joined anteriorly. So this is the portion, this portion, you see, this portion where this bone number 1, bone number 2 joined together over here. So this is the pubic symphysis. Then intervertebral disc. This is your vertebrae. Okay. What is a vertebrae? Backbone. So in between the backbone, this is the portion between two vertebrae. This is the portion called intervertebral disc. It is the disc. Then third, into the menisci. Menisci means into the pads of the knee, like this. In this diagram, you just have to be careful. This portion. See where I am just drawing. Only that portion. This portion, which is providing, I will make it dark, only this portion, which is providing padding, cushioning to this above bone, to this bone, okay, to this bone. So that portion, you can see this portion is pad of cartilage. And portions of the tendons that insert into cartilage, the same diagram, see, this is the cartilage inside, which are going inside the cartilage. So this portion, inside portion, is made up of fibrocartilage. Clear? Fibrocartilage. So it's over. Now let's jump to the next slide. The third type of cartilage called elastic cartilage. Now, matrix of the elastic cartilage is flexible, resilient tissue. Okay, it is a flexible. It is characterized by dense network of elastic fiber. And what do you find over there? We can see dense network of fiber. You can see here elastic fibers are present, and that is why it's called elastic cartilage, because of presence of fiber along with the collagen fiber. So see, both fibers are present, elastic fiber also and collagen fiber also. And proteoglycans is a material into the matrix, will provide support and elasticity. So these are the things present as a matrix, means a medium. Cells are known as, again, same chondrocytes. Chondrocytes are present into lacunae. You can see the lacunae backside, okay, in this diagram. The pit-like structure called lacunae, in which this cell is present. And fibers are thread-like network of elastic fiber. You see this blue color structure, that is, let me take some other color so that I can show you. See, these fiber, do you see? This is the fiber. These are thread-like fiber, elastic fiber with extracellular matrix, and perichondrium is present. Okay, perichondrium is present. a sheet-like structure. Okay, lamination is present in simple words. Location, where you can find it. Lead of the top of the larynx, which is called epiglottis. Then part of external ear. You know, we have ear like this in that ear, which is called auricle. Then auditory tubes in your ear. In this same ear, there is a tube which is entering inside. Okay, auditory tubes. And inside where our structure is present, which is helping us, which is called inner ear. This is inner ear. So this tube is called auditory tube. So auditory tube and this are external ear, both. And this is eustachian tube. This is eustachian tube. Then function is provide strength and elasticity. Okay, provide strength, elasticity. You can touch your ear. Okay, you can bend it. So why? Because it is elastic and strong also at the same time. When your father or mother, okay, hold your ear and twist it, do it break? No, because of it is elastic in nature. It maintains the shape. If you relieve your ear, okay, it will again come back to the original shape. So that is the example of elastic cartilage. Next is bone tissue. Last is bone tissue. Okay. So let's see that this is the skeletal tissue which is made up of bones in the body. So this is the bone tissue. Description, let's see the description, okay? And this is a little bit hard to remember or understand. You have to pay attention. Compact bone tissue consists of osteon. Osteon means Harvasian system, okay? That contains lamellae, lacunae, osteocyte, caniculus, and central Harvasian canal. Now, from this diagram, you have to understand that osteon means this circle structure. You see this circle structure is called osteon. And in between, you can see in the center, this is the portion, empty, okay, structure. That is where a blood vessel is coming. Now, at the backside, we have a diagram. Okay, so let's see the diagram. Now, this is bone tissue. You can see this is the skeletal system of the human being composed of bones. Okay, so let's learn about the bone tissue. First, we'll see description. Compact bones tissue consists of osteon Harvasian system that contains lamellae, lacunae, osteocyte, canaliculi, and central Harvasian canal. So this is the thing we have to see in the structure of the bone. Now I will show you the diagram of the bone, okay, and where these things are present into the bones. Like this is the diagram, but I have one more diagram for you. Okay, so let's begin. This is what you see. Okay, this is the diagram, cut section of the bone. Okay, this a cell, this is the nucleus of the cell, and this star-shaped structure somewhat, okay, this is a cell of bone known as osteocyte. Okay, it is known as osteocyte. So this is osteocyte, this is nucleus. Okay, now secondly, You can see these are, which are no coming outside structure. These are known as canalicules. Okay, these are canalicules. Okay, now one more point, that this osteocyte is present into, you can see in the background, this portion, like there is a pit. Okay, so this is lacunae. This is lacunae. Okay, this is lacunae. This is osteocyte, means the cell of the bone, and this is canaliculi. Okay. Now, this portion which is coming out, see, I will give you the diagram, this portion, okay, which is circle. And such many circles are there. You can see in this whole diagram. Everywhere you can see circle, circle, and circle. This circle is known as osteon. Okay, this circle is known as osteon. And in the osteon, you can see again, some circles are present like this. Okay, these circles, I will draw it outside. Okay, so this is the center of that osteon, and some circles are present like this, concentric. Okay, which are forming the lamella. Okay, these are called concentric lamella. These circles are forming the lamellae. Okay, it is E, lamellae. And in the center of that, you can see in this diagram, this portion, which is a center. This is known as a central Harvesian canal. Okay, this is Harvesian canal. Because it in the this is in a center, so the name is central Harvesian canal. Okay, and this is also same Harvesian system, in which blood vessels are present along with nerves. Okay, what do you see inside? Blood vessel. Okay, so blood vessels are present into the Harvesian canal, and they are surrounded by this lamellae. Okay, the concentric lamellae. If I draw it now, it will form this osteon. This is osteon. And you can see many such osteons are forming this kind of compact bone. And this portion is known as compact bone. Now, let me show you one more thing. You can see this portion. This is called compact bone. This is compact bone. And this portion, it is called as, see, this is spongy bone. It is spongy bones. Okay. And in this concentric lamellae, you can see that this are the cells. Okay. These cells, which are osteocyte, they are present into this concentric lamellae. Let me again draw it for you. These are the concentric lamellae. And in this lamellae, you can see these are the cells of the bones osteocyte. You see? Carefully observe. Okay, this is this structure. Okay, so osteocytes are there in the center. This is the Harvesian canal where blood vessels is present. Okay, and the same thing is written in the starting. See here, again now read compact bone. Now you know what is compact bone. Compact bone tissue consists of osteon. Okay, so this circle is osteon. Then in the center, this portion is called Harvesian system. That contains, now in this Harvesian system, what do you see? We can see lamellae. These circles are lamellae. Then lacunae. Okay, the lacunae is this pit-like structure inside which osteocyte is present. So this is osteocyte, and this is canaliculi. Okay, and this portion is central Harvesian canal, and the osteocyte is inside the lacunae, and that's it. This is the structure of bone, and this is one more structure of bone where you can see this paper-like structure, periosteum. Periosteum. Okay, and in the center of the bone you can see that this portion is hollow structure. This is hollow, and in this hollow structure there is one more tissue is present that is known as bone marrow. Okay, so bone marrow is present into this hollow central part of the bones. Now, by contrast, the spongy bone tissue, you also know what a spongy bone tissues are. Consist of thin columns called trabeculae. Spaces between trabeculae are filled with the red bone marrow. Red bone marrow normally will be here, and this portion you can see, this portion, little bit of this portion, which is the spongy bone tissue. Okay, I will show you again. Like you can see, this is the trabeculae. Okay, you can see these structures are, they are bones, but they are called trabeculae, which will be forming the spongy bone tissue. Okay, so this is it about the bone tissue. Okay, let's see how the structure is. A matrix is solid. Okay, the bone tissue's matrix is solid with the phosphate and calcium deposition. So much calcium and phosphate is present into the matrix, and that is why it is solid. Clear? It's not gel-like, it is solid. Cells of the bone tissues are known as osteocyte, and they have a fiber, type 1 collagen fiber is present in a small amount. Okay. Location, both compact and spongy bone tissues make up the various parts of the bones of the body. So this tissue is present into the bones, into skeletal system. And what is the function? It will support, protect, storage, okay, houses blood forming tissue. Houses means they keep, they have bone marrow. We are talking about bone marrow. The bone marrow is a tissue which will be making the blood. Okay, the bone marrow will make the blood in our body. So it is the house for blood forming tissue, bone marrow, and serve as levers that act with the muscles tissue to enable movement. So it helps in movement. And how it is possible? It work like lever. Okay, not L-I-V-E. Okay, it is lever. You know, leverage. It is that lever. I hope that you have no understood this very well. Now the next tissue is called fluid connective tissue, blood. Structure, the matrix is fluid, which is called plasma or serum. Okay, it has fluid matrix, no jelly-like, no solid, but fluid. Okay, fluid matrix. And cells, there are various types of cells are present, like red blood cells called RBC, also known as erythrocytes. Then white blood cells or leukocytes known as WBC. Then platelets, also known as thrombocytes. So these are the three cells. You can see there are some 5 types of the WBCs. Okay, and this is the diagram of the blood tissue, where this is RBC. What do you see? RBCs. Okay. So many RBCs are there. And these cells looking purple and dark purple is the nucleus. This is WBC. These are WBCs. And this small structure in between these structures are platelets. What are those? Okay, they are platelets. So this is the structure of blood tissue, fluid connective tissue blood's location within blood vessels. Okay, you can find them into your blood vessels like arteries, arterioles, capillaries, venules, veins, etc. Within the chambers of heart. Okay, it is the function of heart to pump the blood. And what is the function of the blood? RBCs means red blood cells will transport oxygen and CO2 in the blood. Okay, it will be transporting O2 and CO2. O2, CO2. Then WBC, white blood cells carry on phagocytosis and mediate the allergic reaction of immune system responses. So WBC basically are also known as immune system cells. Okay, immune cells, which will do the phagocytosis. Let me explain the phagocytosis. Phagocytosis means eating process. Okay, when a cell like WBC, they will produces the pseudopodia. Like this is the plasma membrane. They form. This is called as a pseudopodia. And this is, for example, some bacteria. So they will form the pseudopodia, and then slowly they will engulf the bacteria inside the cell. This portion and this eating process is known as phagocytosis. Okay, that means eating. And this happens with the help of plasma membrane. Okay, so this is the phagocytosis. So this kind of phagocytosis is done by the WBC and they eat the bacteria, microorganism. And that is how our body is getting free from this type of pathogenic organisms. They also give allergic reactions in the body. If you have some allergies, okay, so you feel the this allergies because of the immune response, WBC's responses. So these kinds of the functions are done by WBC. Normally it will protect. Okay, the main function in one word we can write protection. WBC will protect your body from pathogenic microorganisms. And the last platelet, it is essential for blood clotting. You know, when you get some injuries, the body will bleed. So that blood after some time stop. Okay. And that mechanism is known as blood clotting, where the injured part from where the blood is coming out over there, blood will make a clot-like structure. Okay. It will clot itself. And when blood clots, okay, the blood cannot come out. So this blood clotting is very essential thing for the animal. Now next, connective tissue, nervous tissue. The structure matrix is extracellular matrix. There are many things actually. Cells are known as nerve cells and neuroglial cells. Location is nervous system in the body, like brain, for example, brain and nerves in the body. Function of the neuron cells, which are called nerve cells. Nerve cells will generate the action potential. Okay, it will generate action potential and conduct the nerve impulse. Now, action potential and the nerve impulse means whenever a mosquito comes and bites you, so you automatically understand that something has happened to my body on particular location. You will feel itching. Now the question is how you know that. So that you know because of your body's response, okay, on that particular reaction or action of the mosquito biting. Over there, the neuron cells will create a kind of electrical signal, and that signal is known as action potential. This action potential will travel through the brain, and then brain will know that something has happened. So this, what is travel, that is a message, and that message is known as action potential. Clear? The message sent from brain to body, body to brain in the form of electrical signals, the message is known as action potential. And when this action potential will travel from body to brain and brain to body, it is called as conduction or nerve impulse. Both are same over here. Okay, so that is an action potential, means generations of the message. And when that message will travel to the brain, it is known as nerve impulse. It is known as nerve impulse. So what is traveling is nerve impulse, and what is generation is action potential. Ultimately, both are actually one thing. Then neuroglial cells, which do not generate or conduct nerve impulses or messages. They do not give any message, but have other important supporting function. Okay, so what they do, they support. They support to the neurons and nervous system. That's it. Next. The parts of the neuron cells are known as cell body, soma, axons, axon terminal, and the dendrites. Now let me draw the diagram for you. First, we will be drawing the cell body called soma. So you can see this is the cell body, kind of a star-shaped structure. This is called as soma, cell. In the center, we can see the nucleus. Okay, what is this? Cell body. And this is nucleus. And inside which cytoplasm is present, that cytoplasm is known as neuroplasm. The cytoplasm of the nerve cell is known as neuroplasm. Okay, so over here there will be the cytoplasm. Okay, now this is all about the cell body, part number 1. Then from the periphery of the cell body, a fiber-like structure will emerge. These fiber-like structure are known as dendrites. Okay, are known as dendrites. So what is this? This is dendrites. These are the dendrites. Then one of the dendrite will become elongated, very long, which is known as axon. What axon is? Axon is elongated. Dendrite is known as axon. So this is axon. And the end of the axon, it will terminate into structure like this, which is known as axon terminal. This is known as axon terminal. Okay. And this axon is covered by this structure, which is known as myelin sheath. Okay. This is a cell, Schwann cell, and the fat together form this structure known as myelin. Myelin sheath structure. So this is the structure of and the parts of the neuron cell. Now its function, how it work. So the dendrites are here, and the dendrites will generate the action potential. Okay, any message. Let me take some other pen color. Let's take green color. Like something is happening over here. Okay. This is the pin. Okay. This is pin. When a pin enters in the body, okay, you will feel the pain. How? So when pin is entered the body, it will generate the action potential and it will first be gained by dendrites. And dendrite will carry this message into the cell body. Okay, it will carry into the cell body. Then it will enter into the cell body. Within the cell body, it will enter into the neuroplasm and so on, enters into axon. It will travel along the length of the axon, okay, till the length of the axon, till axon terminal. And okay, now this message, which is called action potential, okay, nerve impulse, this nerve impulse will travel from dendrite to the cell neuroplasm and to axon and axon terminal in the form of electrical impulse. Okay, that message will travel from dendrite to the cell cytoplasm, which is a neuroplasm, till axon and axon terminal. Till here, it will travel as electrical impulse, electrical signal. As soon as it reaches to the axon terminal, it will come out from the axon terminal as chemical impulse. Now it is known as chemical impulse. Okay, so this is how this is the structure and parts of the neuron cell and its function, and this is how it will carry the message from body to brain, brain to body. Next, muscle tissue, the last tissue of animal, muscles tissue. We have three muscles tissue. Number one, skeletal muscles tissue. They are long, they are cylindrical in the structure. Okay, how they are? They are long and cylindrical. Striated fibers. I will now explain what is striated fiber. So, because they have striations present, when you look them under the microscope, what we can see is it is looking like dark band and light band. If I draw it, okay, so this is the fiber, long and cylindrical. It is a long and cylindrical, okay, it's a long and cylindrical. So what we can say is some portion is darker and some portion is lighter. Some portion is darker and some portion is lighter. Like this, okay? This portion is dark and this medium portion is light in color. So this is how we can see light band and dark band. So we will be calling it dark band, okay? So this is how we can look under the microscope. And so it is also known as striated muscle, okay? It is known as striated muscle. Clear? It is known as striated muscles. Now, it is also known as skeletal muscles as in this name. Why? Because it is attached to the muscles. These muscles are attached to the bones. And so, okay, they are known as skeletal muscles. And they are known as striated because they have striations on their body or on this in their structure. When we look under the microscope, it looks striated. Patta patta. Okay, patta patta dikhega. So this is a striation. And number three, it is also known as voluntary, okay, muscles. Okay, because these muscles will work according to your will. Clear? These muscles will work according to your will. So that is why we also call it volunteer muscles. And that is how we have three names. Okay. Name number one is skeletal muscles because they attach to the bones. Name number two, because they show the striation. So we call it striated muscles. Okay. What is the name? Let me write. Striated muscle. Okay, we call it striated muscles, and they work according to your will. You can move them, so they are known as volunteer muscles. So these are the three names for the same muscles known as skeletal muscles. Okay, a muscle fiber is roughly cylindrical and multinucleated. Now that cylinder structure is multinucleated cells with nuclei at the periphery. You will see this in the diagram. Now, let's see the location first. What is the location where you can find the skeletal muscles? Attached to the bones by tendons. And what is the function? Function is helping in motion, posture adjustment, heat production in the body, and protection internal organs of the body. So these are the functions of the skeletal muscles. You can see this is bone. Okay, in this is the bone in the diagram, where this is tendon, tendons, and this is muscle. And this muscles, you can see it is a big bundle of the muscle where we can see many small circle like structure, which is again a bundle. If I take that bundle out, I can see again that that bundle is again made of the same structure, small, many bundles. If I zoom that structure, okay, I can see this structure. Okay, you can see this is the bundle, these bundles, these bundles. If I take that out, okay, it will be again looking like this, made up of many circles. You see these circles. And if I take these circles out like this in this next diagram, so that circle is here. And that is the fiber, muscle fiber. This is the muscle fiber. And that fiber is looking like this, where we can see light band and the dark band. Light. This portion is dark, and this portion is light. Okay. Under the microscope, and you can see it is cylindrical and fiber-like structure. And also we can see many nucleuses somewhere here. Okay, the nucleus are present outside like this on the fiber. Okay, over here. And you can also see this outer covering of the muscles, the sheet-like structure. We learned already that this is the connective tissue. So you can see these connective tissue are binding the muscles together and also covering the muscles from outside and inside too. Next, second tissue, that is cardiac muscle tissue. This is the beautiful picture of the heart. Description, they are branched. Okay, cardiac muscles are branched. And I forgot to mention, but let me tell you that these are non-branched. They are non-branched. Okay, these are non-branched uh, filaments, but these are branched structure. Branched muscles means they have branches. Striated fibers. Striated means again they too have striation, dark band, light band, with usually one or centrally located nucleus. Only one. Okay, only one centrally located nucleus. I will show you the diagram. So these are the branched and striated muscles. Striated but branched. And skeletal muscle is unstriated or striated. It is striated but unbranched. Okay. And occasionally only two nucleuses can be seen within the structure. They are attached end to end by transverse thickening of the plasma membrane known as intercalated disc. And they are involuntary, means not under your control, non-conscious control. Your brain can control, but your will, okay, they are not under your will. Okay, not under your will. Means if you want, they can't move by your will. Because you want them to move, they can't move. Okay, your brain can move it. So they are under control of your brain, but not you. So they are called involuntary. A location, you can find them into the heart wall. So this heart wall is made up of cardiac muscles. And the function of this tissue is to pump blood to the all body parts. Let me show you the diagram. You can see this is the diagram. What do you see? Very carefully observe. You can see dark band, light band, dark light, dark light, dark light. So this is a striation. What you can see? Striation. Then a centrally single nucleus. And they are branched. You can see they are connected like this. They are connected to each other and forming the branch. So this is the branch. Okay, that is branches. They are not just straight, but they have branches. Okay, so they have a branch. Then this portion, this portion, this portion, intercalated disc. Okay, this is called as intercalated disc. So for example, this is the one structure. This is intercalated disc. This is inter. So this is the one cell. See, I will draw it for you. Somewhat looking like H shape, but this is one muscle cell. This is one muscle cell, okay, which has one nucleus, and you can see inside dark light bands are present, okay, and this portion is intercalated disc. Intercalated disc. So that's it. Now next, a smooth muscle tissue, the third type, which is called smooth muscle tissue. Description: the fibers usually involuntary. They are involuntary, means under the control of your brain, but not under your control. They are called smooth because they are non-striated. Okay, they lack the striation. There is no striation present. And that's the reason we call them smooth. Smooth muscles fiber is small, spindle shaped. Okay, what is the shape? Spindle shaped. Thickest in the middle and tapering to the each end. Like in the center, they are thick. Like in this image, the diagram, what I'm drawing, this will be the nucleus and this is end. And what do you see? Ends are tapered. Okay, tapering end. And in the center, in the middle, they are thickest. Okay, so they are thickest in the middle and tapering towards the ends. Centrally located nucleus. You can see the nucleus is in the center. Okay, so this is the structure. It is looking like a boat shape, spindle shape. Okay, spindle shape, or you can say boat shape. Clear? Location. So these smooth muscles are found in the iris of eye, walls of the hollow internal structures such as blood vessels, airways to the lungs, stomach, intestine, gallbladder, urinary bladder, and the uterus. These are the places where you can find smooth muscles. Then function, again, muscles are meant to be movement. So they help in the motion, like construction of the blood vessels and airways, propulsion of propulsion of the food through gastrointestinal tract. Means when you eat the food, it is automatically going downside. Why? Because it is the movement created by smooth muscles, which will carry the food into the stomach and so on into the intestine, similar way, which is known as propulsion of the food. Okay, also known as peristaltic movement, but that movement is given by smooth muscles. Then contractions of the urinary bladder. When urinary bladder contract, okay, we are able to urinate. So they are contracting because of this smooth muscles. And then gall bladder. Similarly, when uterus is there and when uterus undergoes the contraction, it will help in the birth of a baby. Okay, so baby getting birth due to the contractions of the uterus, and that contraction is due to smooth muscles. Okay, so this is it. Let's see the structure. This is the diagram. You can see this is the end is tapered. This is center, which is thick portion, and this is nucleus. This is how the shape of the smooth muscles is looking. Okay, so this is the end of this chapter, chapter 6, animal tissue and plant tissue. So thank you very much for watching this video. Please follow, subscribe, and share. And please do comment if you can't understand something. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.